let's look at them carefully first, right? We are saying that H, J, and K are H, J, K, L, and M are points on the circumference of a circle with center O. So we have center O here. By the way, this is I didn't tell you all what year this is. This is June 2022, right? June 2022. Right? And center O. MK, so we have MK is the diameter of the circle and it is parallel to HG. MK is parallel to HG. MJ is equal to JL and angle JMK is equal to 38. So MJ is equal to JL. So you know there's an isosceles triangle in here, right? So that's all the information they gave us, right? Anybody, before we even jump into questions, anybody seen any theorems they want to point out before we even go? So we are going to find, explain, given reason for your answer, H, J, M. So let's locate H to J to M. That is up here. That's dog food. H, J, M. Somebody belt it out for me and give me the reason. What is, oh no, they say, well, give a reason why it is studied. Why is it studied? What's the reason? Who could tell me what kind of angles are they? Perfect, Andrew. Alternate angles are equal. For those who not seen it, right? This is how it looks, right? Watch it. It's a pair of parallel lines. So boom, one here, and then they have a smaller one up here, and then you have a line going from M to J, right? They told us down here was 38, right? These two lines are parallel. They told us down here is 38, so we know that up here will be 38 because they are alternate angles. Alternate angles are equal. So that's what they put in here. Alternate angles are equal. All right? We good there, everyone? Next part of the question. Why is MJK 90 degrees? So let's locate MJK first. M to G to K. Dog food. That's dog food also. Which one of the terms is the reason why this is 90 degrees, Mia? Let's pull up your terms. Go ahead, Kyle. I see us got an answer. Kyle, go ahead.
I can't remember the name, but an angle that touches circumference is 90 degrees, something like that. I'm trying to find it.
That's not what we just call it. Anybody know it? So Andrew and Mia call it out angle in a semi-circle is 90 degrees. Everybody good there? Determine the value of each of the following angles. Show detailed workings where appropriate, right? Now, I didn't see this. I did not see they said to put reasons. So I don't want to put no reasons, right? They just put show detailed workings where appropriate. So let me go. Oh, what we want to find? We want to find MLG. M to L to G. That's this bad boy here. MLG. Let me hear y'all. What are your ideas for MLG? Anybody? Very good, Andrew. 38 plus 90, and then you minus it from 180, you'll get this bad boy here, right? And after we get that bad boy, we're going on with these two angles at the top here. What do we call these? What is the law for this?
Angles from a common chord.
Angles in that. So after that, we can say angles in the same segment are equal. So we are going to first put the working for MKG. That's the first thing we have to find. So MKG would be equal to 180 minus 90 plus 38, I believe it was. What else? Anybody work it out? Somebody give me the answer here, please.
52.
How much, bro? Everybody work out there? 52. 52, right? So that's what, therefore, MLG is equal to 52 degrees. They did not ask me for a reason, but I gotta put the reason still, right? And the reason here would be angles in the same segment are equal. Everybody good there? Right, let's go. So we're going to find LJK now, right? LJK. So scrolling up. L to G to K. We want this little baby boy here. Let me raise some of the noise. Or I could put that we already found here to be, this angle was what, guys? 52? Tell me if I'm wrong. Here was 52 degrees. Here is 52 also, right? Right. How we finding this little piece here? Anybody have any ideas? Anybody?
So
okay, this angle up here was 52 because it's an isosceles triangle, which means this angle up here we can find, right? What this angle up here would be? They will call it MJL. So I'm scrolling now. First, I'm going to put LMJ is 52, right? We have to put that information. MLJ is 52, right? So that's our blue ink, right? So MLG is equal to 52 degrees. Therefore, we could find a small angle up here, which is MJL. MJL is going to be 180 minus the 52 plus 52, which will give me what? Anybody worked it out?
76.
How much again, sister?
76.
76, right? So watch it there. I'll scroll it back up. We found this piece, which is in red, to be 76. But the whole angle is what? The whole angle, which is this, including the little piece you're looking for, is how much degrees? How much degrees is the entire thing? Anybody knows?
90.
90. Excellent. The entire angle is 90. Now, if I draw, I think I'll again tap with this. If I draw a little box here, right? I draw a little 90 box here. That means that this whole thing is still 90, right? This whole thing is still 90. So 76 plus the angle that we are looking for would add up to be 90 degrees. So we scroll it down, right? So the angle we're trying to find would be LJK. LJK would be equal to 90 minus 76, which will give me what? 14?
14.
14 degrees, right? Everybody clear here? The last angle we're going to find is actually JHM, right? JHM. JHM, J to H to M. How we find this bad boy up here? That's easy. How we finding this bad boy here? They did not ask us any reasons in this part, right? Okay, so I could just put, we want JHM. JHM is equal to 180 minus 52, which will give me what? 128, right? So you see, it's only one mark for these things, so they did not ask for any reasons. So it's supposed to be add up to 180 degrees, right? We do the working right, you know, but I just write out this incorrect here. Opposite angles in a cycle quadrilateral are not equal. They add up to 180 degrees, right? So let's assess. From a port L, the ship R is 250 kilometers on a bearing of 65 degrees, right? Well, 065 degrees. The ship T is 180 kilometers from L on a bearing of 148, right? Okay, this information is illustrated in the diagram below. The first part is to complete the diagram by inserting the value of R, L, T. R to L to T would be this angle here. They want us to show this angle. Okay? So let me put in what we know, what they gave us above. They said from the port L, so you're coming from L, R is 250 kilometers on a bearing of 65. So we know that here would be 65 degrees. That's what we know, right? Wherever you're coming from is where your bearing will be located. You're coming from port L, you're heading to R, so the bearing here will be 65065, which will be written as 65 degrees for this angle here. And then T, the ship T is 180 kilometers from L on a bearing of 148, so you're coming from L again. So this bearing starts at the north line, goes in what direction? Are we going clockwise or anti-clockwise? Clockwise or anti-clockwise?
Clockwise.
Clockwise. So we're going clockwise. We're including this angle here to here. This whole thing would be 148 degrees. So if this piece inside there is 65 and the whole thing is 148, what would be the angle we are looking for? What would be this piece here?
148 minus 65.
Excellent. 148 minus 65. So let me put it down here. Okay, that's what it inserted. So let me erase this. Right. So here would be 148 minus 65, which would be equal to how much degrees?
83.
83 degrees is what coming here. All right. I'll put it in there. 83 degrees. Everybody good there? Here would be 83 degrees. They just wanted us to put it in, we put it in. All right? Calculate RT, the distance between the two ships. So we want RT. We know here's 83 degrees, right? Let me erase some of this noise. All right, let me erase some of the noise. Matter of fact, I reason everything because I just know here's 83 and I'm going to just work with the angle that is inside of the triangle, right? So we know here is 83. So we want to find this side here. Okay? Which one of the rules are we using? Are we using cosine rule or are we using sine rule?
Cosine.
Cosine, right? Cosine or sine. Now for sine, who can remember? Sine is you have two angles, one side, and you want to find the next side, you use cosine. If you have two sides, one angle, and you want another angle, you use sine. For cosine rule, you have...
Angle.
Say that again?
Two sides are angle, and you want to do it.
Excellent. You have an angle, two sides, and you want to get the next side. And then the other case would be you have all three sides, and you want to find an angle. Everybody good there? So we have two sides, one angle, and you want to find the next side. So we are going to use cosine rule, right? Somebody line up cosine rule for me. What's cosine rule?
A squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a.
A squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos of capital E, right? This is for a triangle, like what we have above, right? I like that. Right? So this is for a triangle, right? Here is capital A, here is common A, here's capital B, here's common B, here's capital C, right? Here is common C, right? So we're going to give it some perspective to this question up here. Common A will be what we're trying to find, which is RT, okay? So I'm going to put RT squared is equal to, what is common B, guys? Common B and common C will be what and what?
LR.
LR, and which is 250 and what? 250
LT.
and what?
And 180.
LT. Excellent. So it'll be 250 squared plus 180 squared minus 2 by 250 by 180 cos of the only angle we have, which is 83. So you're belting out all this on your calculator. RT will be equal to the square root of whatever you get. Somebody give me the square root. Give me it. Give me what you get when you work out the first line. Give me it to 2 decimal.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Okay.
83931.76, right? And then we need to find the square root of that. Give me the square root of that to 2 decimal places.
209.71
kilometers. That is the distance that RT is. Guys, if by now this thing is not dog food for you, you're wasting time, because we fed up do these kind of questions by over and over again. I personally find question 9 and 10 is questions that are supposed to make up your marks with. It's food. These questions are like the easiest questions. These questions easier than algebra. Any day. Right? So 289.71. There we go. Determine the bearing of T from R, right? The bearing of T from R. So this was what? What this was, Kyle? This was 289.71.
Yeah.
Right. Where we coming from? We coming from? Where we coming from here, guys? Determine the bearing of T from?
Coming from R.
We're coming from R. So that's where your north line going to be, brothers and sisters. So I'm going to draw my north line here because they're coming from R. This is our new north line. I'll call it N1. Right? Where we going to? So off is where you're going to. Off T, that's where we're heading towards. So, woo, they want this whole big angle here, boy. They want that whole angle. But you know what we could find? And we knew here was 65.
Yeah.
And we could find here. What we find in here? Let me hear you.
360 minus 65.
No, sister.
180 minus 65.
180. You know why, Mia? Good at time, no, Mia. I was on the right track, but alternate. These are not alternate angles. These are co-interior angles. And these co-interior angles add up to 180 degrees. The co-interior angles being, I'm going to put it in red. The co-interior angles will be this angle here and this angle here. Right? Co-interior angles add up to 180 degrees, right? 180 minus 65 is what, right? 115?
Yeah.
115 degrees. So we need this bad boy on the outside here, so we still need to find this. What we could use to find this, right?
Sine rule.
Yeah, we could use sine rule. Now we have a real thing here, but we want this angle. So we want one angle. Okay, look the angle we want here. And we have two sides on an angle? Do we have two sides?
Yes, sir.
We won't use this side, right? You're not using this side. You're using the side opposite to this angle. And you're using the angle and the side which is opposite to the angle here, right? That's what forming my sine rule. So there we go. Somebody belt out sine rule for me now. Sine rule. common A over sine capital A is equal to common B over sine capital B, which is equal to common C over sine capital C. And this is when you have a triangle, right? Where if here is capital A, here is common A. If here is capital B, here is common B. If here is capital C, here is common C. The commons are opposite to the capitals. So we're going up here. Right, we're going up here. So we deal with capital L and common L first, right? Which is 83 and 289.71. So there we go. It'll be common L, which will be 289.71 over sine of the angle, which is 83. And this will be, remember, you're only using two at a time. We're using common using capital R and common R. So using 180 and the angle we want to find, which is LRT. LRT. So I'll put 180 over sine LRT. That's what we want to find. So you know what we could do? We could actually carry sine LRT here, and it could bring this whole thing where sine LRT is, right? So what this switch you're going to make? I'm going to put sine LRT here, and then I'm going to put 180 over 289.71 divided by sine 83, right? Okay, so here I want you all to do, give me this answer, give me it to 3 decimal places. Let's take a little more accurate figure. Sine LRT is equal to 1. So this is why I'm punching in. You're punching in 180, division sign, open bracket, 289.71. You can put divided by sine 83, and you must close your bracket at the end. Tell me what you're getting there. Are you getting 617? Somebody hit me. I see somebody, Isaiah, put that. 0.617. That correct, Makeda?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Please make sure, Desha, that your calculators are on degrees. Please make sure of that, right? So now we're going to move the sign alone on the side. When you move the sign alone, what it becomes?
Sine inverse.
Sine inverse of 0.617. What is LRT, my children?
38.
38. 38 flat, brother. Give me to 2 decimal places.
$38.1.
With 10.
Yeah, after round off it.
Right, so 38.1. So I'm scrolling up. Hey, somebody had a second line as well. Kyle and...
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah? All right. Scrolling up. So here is 38.1 degrees, right? So what will be my bearing that is on the outside here that we're trying to find? I'm going to put it in a different color. What is this bearing here? What are we doing here now? Who could tell me?
Add 115 and 38.1 and then minus it from 360.
Boom. Because a complete revolution would be 360 degrees. Very good. Right? So I'm going to add up 115 to 38.1 and minus it from 360. So this is how it would look. So what it asks us for is they ask us for the bearing of T from R, right? So I'm going to put therefore, therefore, the bearing of T from R is going to be equal to 360 minus 115 plus 38.1. It man, sorry, now people.
0 to 6.9 degrees.
Say my again, bro.
0 to 6.9 degrees.
0 to 6. Oh, it come up to no. Something wrong there, bro.
I got 206.9.
Yeah, that's all incorrect. 206.9. Check it out, Vacal. This ought to be in brackets, brother.
Yeah, I see it wrong on the calculator they had. Sorry about
All right. And this is degrees. All right. So this here would be my bearing of T from. And I see like they give you some of this stuff here too. So let's go. Vectors and matrices, transformation matrix, right? So they said the transformation A, which matrix A, which is 0, -1, 1, 0, represents a rotation of 90 degrees anti-clockwise about the origin, right? 90 degrees anti-clockwise about the origin. B, which is this, represents a reflection in a straight line with equation y is equal to -x, right? Write the coordinates of P prime, the image of the point 7, 11, after it undergoes a rotation of 90 degrees anti-clockwise about the origin, right? So if I want to apply this transformation matrix to this point, I have to write the point in vector form, right? So it's basically you need to multiply A, which is the transformation matrix for the rotation anti-clockwise of 90 degrees by P, but you're writing P in vector form, okay? So this will be 0, -1, 1, 0. I thought it was notes you had to write here, no, me knows workings you had to do. And then you're writing 7, 11 in vector form. So let's go. Row by column. 0 by 7. 0 by 7 is 0 plus -1 by 11 is -11. -11, right? Right. Then you have 1 by 7, which is going to be +7 plus 0 by 11 is simply 0. And this here would work out to be, so this is P prime, this is P prime we find in here. So this will be equal to 0 plus -11 will be -11, and then 7 plus 0 is 7. So therefore, P prime written as a coordinate, P prime would be -11, 7. You have to write it in coordinate form, right? This here would be the coordinates of P prime, which is the image of the point P, which is 7, 11, when it undergoes a rotation of 90 degrees in an anti-clockwise direction, right? Going to the next one. T is a combined transformation of A followed by B. A followed by B. Let me see you remember. If I want to find a combined transformation of A followed by B, determine the matrix that represents T. Who remembers? How do I find T if it's A followed by B? How do I multiply it? Do I multiply B or do I multiply B by A?
B by A.
If it's A followed by B, you always put the matrix that is being followed by first. All right, so B by A, so let's write that out. B, what's B? Somebody call it out now. Anybody have it there? What's B?
0, -1, -1, 0.
And A?
0, -1, +1, 0.
All right, proper. So I go row by column. 0 by 0 is 0 plus -1 by 1 will be -1, right? -1 by 1 will be -1. Then row by column again, right? 0 by -1 will be 0. And then -1 by 0 would be 0 plus 0. Then -1 by 0 would be 0 plus 0 by 1 is 0. Then -1 by -1 will be +1, and then 0 by 0 would be 0. So my matrix T would be equal to -1, 0, 0, +1. Right? That is what my combined matrix would be, right? Or my combined transformation. Describe geometrically the transformation represented by T. Anybody have what it is? Anybody check their notes? What
T
is
is a
it?
reflection in the y-axis.
So T represents somebody's secondary reflection in the y-axis. Me, I check it. A singular matrix has a determinant of 0. Right? So it means if, let me call the matrix A. If A is equal to A, B, C, D, then the determinant of A written like this is going to be equal to 0. Right? And for those who don't know how to look at the determinant, right, also the determinant is given by A multiplied by D minus B multiplied by C. When you work on this, you will get 0. You're supposed to get 0. All right? Right, so I clearly stated that the determinant is 0 because they said that the matrix C is singular. They want us to find the constant K. So let's go. I'm going to have 3 multiplied by 4, which will give me 12, right? 3 multiplied by 4, which is 12, minus 6 multiplied by K, which would be 6K, is going to be equal to 0. So I'm going to carry the minus 6K here, so it become positive 6K, all right? So 12 will be equal to, 12 remains on the left, would be equal to 0 plus 6K, which is just 6K. What do I do with the 6K when I carry it? The 6, sorry, when I carry it there now?
Divide.
Divide. So it will be 12 divided by 6 is equal to K. 2 is equal to K. Raise your hand if you got 2.
Yes.
I see if you can also today.
So you're breaking up.
All right, sorry. Right. In the diagram below, O is the origin, all right? So O is the origin, O here, right? Makeda, listener. Then I said O to X is U, right? O to X is U. U comes like the length. It comes like the magnitude, right? So the distance from O to X is U. Okay, Makeda?
Yes, sir.
Right. Then I said O to Y is V. Then I came and said OX and OY are extended so that X and Y are the midpoints of OA and OB. So if X is the midpoint here, and let me give it a figure. Say here's 2, right? And from here to here is the midpoint between O and A. What the next side will be, Makeda? Makeda, if here's 2, what up here will be? What the length
So
of-
wait. Repeat.
If from O to X is 2, and they said X is the midpoint between O and A. So it comes like X is halfway. Midpoint means halfway. If he has 2, let me say he has 2 centimeters, the length, what this side will be?
2 centimeters.
Right. Same 2 centimeters, right? That is why you will see I will come now and put if from O to X is U, then from X to A is U also. Because they are the same. They go in the same directional kind of thing. Right? Okay, Makeda? And if from O to Y is V, then from Y to B is what? If Y is the midpoint. Anybody? What here would be? V. Right? So the whole length now from O to A would actually be, O to A would actually be 2U. And then from O to B would actually be 2V. See how easy it is, Makeda? I find vectors is probably the easiest topic.
Yes, sir. Understand that part.
Right, so we go in. Express Bx in terms of U and V. So we want to go from B to X. So I'm going to draw a line there now. We want to go from B to X. You see that line there, Makeda? I put that direction too. You want to move from B to X. So let's always use the example that this roadblock, right? That police here. Right, Makeda?
Yes, sir.
Right? They had a siren here. Woo, 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 woo. You can't pass here, Makeda. So if you want to make it to X, right? You need to take an alternative route. So you're going to go from B to O. You see that, Makeda? But we know from B to O is 2V. Sorry, from O to B is 2V. Now, if anytime you're going against the direction, sister, instead of positive 2V, it will be negative 2V. That's what B to O would be. You understand that, Makeda?
Yes, sir.
So you go from B to O, then you go from O to X. O to X is simply U, right? So this is how we write that. When they say to express something in terms of U and V, you give them in terms of U and V, right? So we go in. So B to X, our alternative route would be from B to O, and then you're going to add from O to X, right? So you still move from B to X, right?
So, sir, it will be negative 2V plus O to X, which is U.
Dog food in the school, sister. A mark in the bag.
That's madness.
That's crazy. Crazy how easy these things are. All right, let's go.
So I did it the other way.
Where you went? Where you went? What other way? Desha,
I went X to O and then O to B.
X to O and then O to B. Watch it, sister. We want BX, not XB. What you gave me there is XB. Right, Desha?
Okay, sir.
I want BX. So starting at B and ending at X, right? That's also very important when you do vectors. Direction is very important. Let me go. Next one time. Given that YA and BX intersect at M and BM is equal to 2MX, right? So YA, let me see where YA is. Y to E, let me draw a line from Y to E. Y to A is here. So they said Y to A and B to X intersect at M. You all know what intersect means, right? It means that they cross at M. Right, let's see what they say. And they said BM is 2MX. So B to M is 2MX, right? Watch it. B to M is 2MX, right? So it's like 2 of this line could fit in here. So you could call here 2/3 and you could call here 1/3. Right? You get there, Makeda?
Yes, I get it.
Right. 2/3 and 1/3, because here is like you have 2MX in here. I could cut here in the middle, right? This will be 1MX here. This will be 1MX here. And then you have another MX here. So if you have three pieces, 2 pieces will be 2/3, 1 piece will be 1/3. Everybody clear there? Food readers call this. Right? So we go in. Let me see what they want to find now, given that information, right? Scrolling down. Right. Express BM in terms of U and V. So you want to go from B to M. Let me see what can happen here. B to M. B to M is as 2/3. We have BX. BX is this bad boy here. So BM is simply 2/3 of this. So watch it. BM, am I red or am I blue? BM will simply be equal to 2/3 of whatever bx is. I'll put bx here. 2/3 of bx, which will be 2/3 of, what is bx scrolling up? Negative 2v plus u. 2/3 of negative 2v plus u. Now, they did not say in its simplest form, but so we don't need to really simplify this. We don't need to simplify this. I can leave it just so, right? That question done. Using a vector method, show that ym to ya is 1 to 3. Show all working. 3 marks to this, right? Ym to ya. Let me go. Ym to ya is 1 to 3 or 1 to 3, right? So basically, if it's 1 to 3, you're trying to show that ym is a quarter of ya, which will be 3/4. That's basically what you're trying to go here. So what you're trying to do here, right? 1/4 and 3/4. Let me go. I go and find one. Wait. That's all. Ym is this piece here. This is ym, and then it's not ma is the next part. The next part is ya. So if it's 1 to 3, it simply means that here is 1/3, and then up here is 2/3 because the whole thing is 3 parts, right? So we have this wrong down here. That's all. It'll be 1/3 to 2 to a whole. Right? All we know is here is 1/3. Right? So let's go, guys. And the next part will be a whole. So let's find y to m. Where we could go? We just found this, which is mb. So y to m. Could I go from y to b and then b to m? Because we just found b to m. So ym, we have to find this first, right? Ym is equal to y to b and then b to m. So yb would be negative v, I believe. Let's confirm that. Y to b would be negative v, right? And then bm is what we just found here, which would be plus 2/3 of negative 2v plus u. So now we need to simplify because we need to show that this is 1/3 of the entire line here.
So it would be positive v.
Say that again, bro.
It wouldn't be positive v, reason being it not going against the traffic.
We're not going against the traffic.
No.
Oh, yeah, but we're going with the traffic. Correct. Right? Them little things that's making you get the question wrong, eh? Positive v. We're moving with the traffic. Very good, Kyle. So I'm going to multiply this by this and this by this. So this will be equal to v minus, because positive 2/3 multiplied by negative 2v will give you negative 4/3v, and then 2/3 by u will be plus 2/3 u. All right? So let me go. 1, this is 1v. 1 minus 4 negative 4/3 will give me what? Anybody have it? 1
A third
minus...
v.
Say that again, bro.
Negative a third v.
Negative 1/3 v plus 2/3u. All right? What I'm going to do here, I'm going to factorize out this 1/3, right? So I'm going to factorize out 1/3 here. So that means I need to divide 1/3 into negative 1/3 v. That would leave me negative v. And 2/3 divided by 1/3 will give me what? 2? 2u? Right? This is what ym is. Once again, I divided 1/3 into this. I got negative v. And then I divided 1/3 into this. And I got positive 2u. Right? So I need to basically show that, I need to show now that ya is this. I need to show that ya is this, what is in the brackets here. So let's find ya. This is 3 marks you're playing with here, guys. 3 marks we're playing with. So we're going to find ya. Draw a line here.
Sir,
Where we going for Y? Anybody have a route?
Y to O and then O to A.
All right, Kyle have it there already. Y to O, and then we're going from O to A. So I'm scrolling up to see it. We want YA, right? So we went from Y to O. So this we're going to against traffic, so you know it's negative V. And then O to A would be 2U. Talk down and talk down there, Kyle. This will be negative V plus 2U, right? And from here, I can simply put therefore YM to YA is equal to 1 to 3. Right? Okay? Everybody good here? Is everybody good here? So let me go. Together as one. So the diagram below shows a circle with diameter KF. So understand where KF is, boom. Line EFG is a tangent to the circle at F, right? So you get a tangent here, right, Mia? I'm not sure if Mia's still here with Mia. So we have a tangent to the curve, right? Then the points F, H, and K, and J lie on the circumference of the circle, right? But we don't have a cyclic quadrilateral here. I was looking to see if there's a cyclic quadrilateral, but there is none. So by showing each step of in your work, where appropriate, find the value of each of the following angles. Angle X. That's dog food. Come on, together. What is angle X?
56.
56.
And what's the reason? Let me write it out. Did they say write the reason? They just had to look for the symbol. By showing each step in your work, by showing each step means to put the reason, Right? So this is equal to 56, and we need to put the reason. Okay, 56 degrees. Angles in the same
segment are equal.
Excellent. Angles in the same segment are equal.
sir, what year is this?
This is January 2023. January 2023. Angle Y. We're going to angle Y now. Let me hear you. How we find an angle Y? Okay? We just found X. Oh, you said, Andrew, did you say what we got for X? We got 56 for X, right? Did you say 56 plus 19 minus 180 will give me this?
No, I say 180 minus 56 minus 19.
Right, we'll give it this angle here. But then this angle and X and Y, actually add up to be 180 degrees. So we could find, let me call here H, J, K, L. Let me call here L. All right? Because it didn't give here a name. So let me call KLH is what we're trying to find first, right? So KLH would be equal to, we're going down, KLH would be equal to 180 minus 56. Where again when you do this here, guys?
105.
105 degrees, right? 105 degrees, okay? That's how you find KLH. And now, you know that KLH, which is this blue angle here, plus Y would add up to 180 because angles at a point on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. We can simply say Y is equal to 180 minus 105, which will give us what? 75? Angles at a point on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. Everybody good there? Part C. The diagram below shows 4 points P, Q, R, and S on level ground where pillars will be placed to mark the outline for a foundation, right? All right, let's go. Right, where pillars will be placed to mark the outline of the foundation. there is a vertical post RT at R, right? There's a vertical post here. So we have a vertical post, means that going up in the air. Right? There's a vertical post at R from Q, the angle of elevation of the top of the post T is 21 from Q. So that actually means that you have a line coming from here to here. Let me see if I can use that straight line. So I have a line coming from here to here, forming an angle of elevation of 21 degrees here. You all understand what's going on here? They said QPRS are on flat ground. You have a vertical pole at R, so that actually means that this is 90 degrees here. If it's a vertical pole, that's 90 degrees. You know what else it means? It means there's another 90 degrees coming this way. All right? If it's a vertical pole, it's 90 degrees with QR and it's 90 degrees with RS. You seen it, Kyle? It's a vertical pole, right? So the pole standing up so. QR is actually like this at the bottom. It forms 90 degrees there. And then on the next side now, there's another line. It forms 90 degrees, right? Think of a pole at the corner of a crossroad. Like say you have a crossroad. And you have a pole. The pole forms 90 degrees to the ground, right? If it is erected vertically. So let's go. So there's a vertical post, right? Hence, find the height of the pole. So what shall we have here? We have 21. We want the height of the pole, which is now what? What the height is, guys?
Your opposite.
Excellent.
Opposite.
That's my opposite. And what side do we have here? 153 is my what?
Adjacent.
Adjacent. Which one of the trigonometric ratios uses opposite and adjacent?
Tan.
Tan, proper thing. Tan of the angle, let's call it theta, is equal to opposite over adjacent. Right? So tan of the angle, which in this question is 21, is equal to opposite, which is what we're trying to find. Opposite is RT, which is the pole, over the adjacent, which is 1 something by 153.
153.
I still put 156. 153. So we're going to move 153 here. What do we do with it when we carry there?
Multiply.
58.7.
Proper thing. Somebody had a second answer. 28.7. What is this? Is that side we're trying to find?
58.
58.73.
58.7 meters. Where I get 28 from?
So they say one decimal place up and up.
Above. All right. So it'll be 58.7 meters is what RT is. Everybody good there? That's it there. That's all they want to the height of the post. Given that the length QS is 135, QS, where QS is by Q to S is 135. That's here. 135 meters, right? What they want us to find now, by calculate the perimeter of the foundation PQRS. So we have to find this. If you want the perimeter, we have 153, we have 110, we have 83. You need to find this bad boy. What we could use? What we can activate to find that bad boy?
Cosine.
Cosine, boy. Watch that. Oh, let me come up proud today, boy. Cosine rule. Focus on this triangle, children. You're focusing on this triangle. Boom, bang, and bang. This is the triangle we're focusing on. So you want a side and you have an angle on two sides, right? So cosine rule is you have an angle, two sides, and you want the other side, you use cosine rule. You have all three sides, and you want an angle, you use cosine rule. So this is you have two sides, one angle, you want the other side, cosine rule. So let's work. We can come here to play. So cosine rule is going to be a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos of capital A. A squared will be the side we're trying to find. What our side is, by? What's the
Yes.
PS.
Q? That's not QS. So QS is 135 here.
PS.
PS.
Right, PS. PS squared is equal to B. Anybody remember one? Like call B 135. What's the next one?
83.
83.
53?
83.
I think it's 83 I hear saying that.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes, it's 83.
Right? And then squared minus 2 by 135 by 83 cos of capital A. What's capital A, my
29.
children? 29, proper. Hitman. Hey, I'll put capital A. Like put the 29.
So 5513.78.
So PS is equal to the square root of, let me hear there.
5513.78.
551 what?
78 point? No, 5513.7.
13.77.
Yeah. That's like
Yeah.
What do you get?
15313.89.
So I get what she get, but I just round it off to 5514.
Alright, I need some look 55 what?
5514.
Now let's go to two
Yeah,
decimal
yes.
places. Or let's state it otherwise. Did they tell us to go to one decimal place or anything here? Where we didn't see one decimal place.
That one, no.
You know, if you go one decimal place, you won't get it wrong, huh? Yeah. Right. Carl, check over this now, because Makila and Andrew get this.
Yeah,
Yes, I know that too.
I look, Cristiano
yeah,
get
no,
too. Right. So PS as well.
um, 74.26.
74.
it's 74.3.
74 point. Go to two decimal places.
74.25.
25.
Yeah,
25.
Because it's a 4 after the 5.
All right. So 74.25, and this would be This is what? This was what? Right, meters. But the question and done. Oh, let's see 4 marks of this question. All right. So therefore, the perimeter will be equal to 74.25 plus, I know 83 was one of the peripheral lines, plus
153.
yeah, I remember 153 was there and 110 or something. So
Yeah, 110.
all right, when you add up all these, hey, reason why, everybody points to note, reason why we will not be adding this line in the middle is because they want the perimeter of the foundation. The foundation is boom, bang, bang, bang. 135 is not included in that. When you work it out, what we get here, my children?
420.25.
420.25. And this will be meters. All right? Yo. You cannot take out the AC and open the door. Open the front door. That's all, guys. All right. 3 matrices Q, R, and S are as follows. Q, R, and S. Explain why the matrix product QS is not possible. The number of columns in Q is not equal to the number of rows in S, therefore multiplication is not possible. All right? This Q is a 2 by 2 matrix, meaning 2 rows, 2 columns. This one here is a 3 by 2 matrix, meaning 3 rows, 2 columns, right? The amount of rows, the amount of columns, sorry, in the first matrix must be equal to the amount of rows in the second matrix. So matrix multiplication is not possible here. State the order of the matrix product SR. So SR will be a 3 by 2 matrix multiplied by a 2 by 2 matrix. Okay? 3 by 2 multiplied by a 2 by 2 would give us, to get the order of the matrix product, it will be the number of rows in the first matrix and then the number of columns in the second matrix. So this answer would be a 3 by 2 matrix. All right? Well, let me put SR. SR will be a 3 by 2 multiplied by a 3 by 2 multiplied by a 2 by. Calculate the matrix product QR. There you go. QR would be equal to, or let me move it a little speed here. Our class now again. 2, -1, 4, 3. 2, -1, 4, 3. And then R would be 1, 6, -5, 4. 1, 6, -5, 4. Right? So let's call it for me. 2 by 1 is plus -1 by -5 will be +5. Then row by the last column here will be 2 by 6 is 12. And then -1 by 4 would be -4. Then 4 by 1 is 4. 4 by -5 would be -15. And then 4 by 6 is 24.
No, it's not negative.
Negative what?
Look at that.
Right. So there we go. We're working out all these things separately. 2 plus 5 would be 7. 12 plus -4 would be +8. 4 plus -15 would be -11. And then 24 plus 12 would be 36. So this is the matrix QR, the product of those two matrices, right? Moving again. Given that A, which is equal to that, is equal to 4, -1, 7, -7, and x, determine the value of x when the determinant of the matrix is 5, right? So you all know that the determinant of the matrix would be A multiplied by D minus B multiplied by C. This is A, this is B, this is C, and this is D, all right? So this will become A is 4 by x, which is just 4x. I should just write 4x. 4x minus B by C, which is -7 by -1, which will be +7, is actually equal to 5. Fling this -7 here, do the opposite of minus, which is 2 plus. 4x would be 5 plus 7, which would be 12. Carry the 4 here, divide. X will be equal to 12 divided by 4. X will be equal to 3. All right, that's the value of my x. So this is how easy these things are. Food, we call it, Kyle. Food. Right, let me go to this bad boy car. No, this is what Makeda I want to see, eh? Let me go, Makeda. In the diagram below, OPQ is a triangle, right? O to P to Q is a triangle. ARB and O and AOQ are straight lines. B is the midpoint of PQ, right? So anytime you see that midpoint talking, know that here is half and half. Right? R is the midpoint of B of AB. So you know here's half, here's half. Anytime you see that midpoint talk, it's half and half. OR is 1, and then RP is 3, which in this case here would be a quarter, and here would be 3/4. Because it's 4 parts. This is 1 part, and here contains 3 of that 1 part. So you have 4 parts. Here would be a quarter, here would be 3/4. OP is 4A. Let me erase these things here. OP would be 4A. Let me write it in a different color. Here's 4A. That's OP. And then OQ would be 8B. That's all the info we have, right? Find in terms of A and or B in its simplest form. What do you all want? PQ. What's the route we taking? Come on, look at that, brother. What's the route we taking to find PQ? We're going from P to
O,
and then from O to
Q.
Q. Right, we're going against any traffic anywhere? It'll be negative 4A. Because this was OP and this is OQ, right? So this will be negative 4A plus 8B. Simple as that to know. That question done already. Let's see what next. PR. What are we taking for PR? PR, we don't take no way. We don't know that OP is 4A. So PR will be 3/4 of 4A. That's how simple that. Well, it's negative 4A. Because you're going PR, you're going against traffic. So PR would be equal to 3/4 of, I want to put 3/4 of PO, right? Which will be 3/4 of negative 4A, right? And this will give me negative 3A, right? 4 into 4 cancels, 3 multiplied by negative A will give me negative 3A. That is what PR is. This is PR, all right? Negative 3A. Then RB. Hit me. R to B. Did we find AB? Or no? We have PQ? Yeah, we have PQ.
So you could go from R to P and P to B.
R to P and P to B because we have this. Is there anything easier we could do? I started to find AB. Now we're going to be same set of working. So there we go. We're going from R to P, which should be what do you want? You want RB. Right. Let's go from R to P, which will be 3/4 of 4A, and then from P to B, which will be a half of PQ, which will be a half of this bad boy here. So there we go. We're going from R to P, then from P to B. This was PR we find here. Something feeling wrong. That's P to B would be a half of PQ. Right. R, right. So RP would be just positive 3A. Right? Positive 3A plus PB would be a half of negative something.
So it's 8B, take away negative 4.
Right, you can write it so. I'll put so because I'll have it above. Negative 4A plus 8B. Right? Did they ask us to simplify this? That one I must look for to know if not to waste time. You see they put here, Andrew, watch. You see it?
Yeah.
So we have to simplify. So let me go. A half multiplied by this and by this. So it will be 3A plus a half of 4A well, negative 4A will be negative 2A, and then a half of 8B would be 4B. 3A minus 2A would be A plus 4B. Right? That is what RB is. Right, guys? We only went 2 minutes over, you know? I thought it was going to take longer. So we basically take 10 minutes to do that question, Kyle. Not even 10. Less than 10 probably. All right, guys, too fast. Okay, well, we needed to finish 9A. Okay? So W, X, and U are points on the circumference of the circle. W, X, and U. All right? TV is a tangent to the circle at U, meaning that it touches the circle at U. UW is a diameter of the circle, and triangle WXU is an isosceles triangle. Using appropriate theorem, state 3 reasons that explains why the measure of Z is 45. Why is Z 45, boy? All right, the first thing I know, and we know here is 90. What's the term for that? What's the term for that?
An angle in a semicircle is 90.
90 degrees.
Reason 1, angle in a semicircle is 90 degrees. All right, what are we going to next? What that could lead us to find? Could we find
The 2 angles there because the is an isosceles triangle.
Right, so that means here will be 45 and here will be 45. Right, so we could say base angles of an isosceles triangle are equal. Base angles of an isosceles triangle are equal. All right, and what's the last thing? The last thing would be angle between a tangent and a chord is equal to the angle in the alternate segment. All right, angle between a tangent and a chord is equal to the angle in the alternate segment. All right, that's the last term. Angle between a tangent and chord is equal to the angle in the alternate segment. Right? Guys, please, the work I give all every week to do it now. I just given all you 8 questions to do from this worksheet, right?